it's you, your mentality, your thoughts?
Yeah, as a backup quarterback, that's the last thing you want to see is, the starter go down, and especially with the head injury like that. So, prayers go out to Emery. I think he's doing fine. I saw him in the locker room, and, I'm glad to see he's okay. And LD, got banged up, but he'll be good. But, I've prepared the last 4 years as, I'm the starter, so you're always a play away, and I've always been told that. So, Southern Utah I got in a couple years ago and got a half in, but, today was a lot different and just prepared like the starter this whole week. And, at the end of the day, we came out victorious against a really good Washington team, and it was very fun.
After the interception that you had, what was your mindset moving forward, and how did you recover from that?
The DB made a great play. I kind of tried to force that one, but, that play was over and just try to learn from it. And, I think at that time they ended up tying it up after that. And, just made sure the defense knew I had their back. And, I think we drove down and scored. But, he made a good play, and I can't force the ball like that.
Trent, to piggyback off that, like you say, you want to come in, obviously you want to run the offense, but how tough is it not to maybe take those early big shots, just to try and push the ball down the field when you come in the game like that?
Yeah, the first play, that was a great first play, just to hand it off, and we score on a handoff. It's really got my confidence going, just kind of, felt the game. But, yeah, like you said, it's kind of tough to get in rhythm, just coming in the game late. But I think the wide receivers did a good job catching contested balls, and the line gave me some pretty decent time. And with the running backs, it made it easy because, they're finding holes, and it made it a lot easier. And Coach Thomas called a great game.
Trent, obviously, back here. Obviously, and you were not the starter of the game, but once you came in, was there anything that you saw on the sidelines that you tried to put it on the field? Like you saw a weakness while you were still on the sidelines, but then when you got in, you took advantage?
I think Washington, pretty much ran everything that we were prepared for. It was just a matter of executing it and, not trying to force it and not play with dirty eyes. And I just think, we had a great week of practice, and we had a really good game plan, and we ended up executing it.
I have two questions. I think it was your first touchdown pass, the one to Valade.
Yes.
You took
yes,
a pretty good hit there.
Yes, sir.
Could you just kind of describe what you saw and take us through that play?
Yeah, so that was my hot read. Number 7 came off the edge, and I think he's from Arizona, Dominique Hampton, Centennial. I grew up playing with him, so it's kind of funny, 2 Arizona guys. But yeah, no, he was my hot read, and X came wide open. I had to stand in the pocket and make the throw, and luckily he caught it and scored. And but really, just doing what Coach Thomas has taught me and what we've been taught and executing it on the field.
And how many times throughout your career have you kind of visualized a moment such as this? Because when you took the field, it looked like you've done it every Saturday. But it looks like you've actually thought about this and visualized this before.
Yes, sir. Like I said, as a backup quarterback, you got to be prepared. It's kind of different, because growing up, I've always been that guy, starting, since a freshman in high school and, breaking records. And just Chili, I know he's in the room, and he's watched my whole career pretty much. And so, for me, it's, I've always known what I'm capable of, and, God has a great plan. And, 4 years ago, I was the 5th string back walk on, and just trusted God's plan, and just put my head down every week and just prepare for this moment.
Trent over here. I know you had the foot injury. Can you kind of walk us through the timeline of when you got hurt, and then when you kind of felt back to yourself and everything in between?
Yeah, so last year is actually the last day of fall camp. I kind of noticed my foot was kind of hurting. Ended up getting an X-ray, MRI. It was kind of like a stress fracture, but I didn't want to sit out the first half of the season because they said I'd probably have to get surgery. So good thing I didn't, because I ended up playing against Southern Utah, and I played through the whole season last year with it. And then I got surgery right after spring ball. So this spring I was in a boot the whole time outside of football, which nobody really knew about. So just trying to play through that was kind of tough, battling for the starting job, but also, really being limited, being on one foot. Got surgery, but my foot feels 100%, and I'm just glad that, I'm 100%, and I just got to thank God for that.
How did you feel in August, in camp?
I felt pretty good. It was still kind of different. I hadn't really done anything since spring ball. I was pretty much out for a couple months, just trying to get back into cardio and just throwing. But, for me, throwing a football is throwing a football. So I was glad to be able to come back in time for fall camp and compete to my best ability. Still probably wasn't 100%, but I feel really good right now.
Trent, kind of going off that, how you said you weren't 100% in the fall camp. Coming into a game like this and you're just thrown into the fire, how were you able to build that confidence despite, as you said, not really being that 100% during fall camp?
I just think trusting in my training, taking what the defense gives me. Like I said, it was kind of nice to, be able to rely on the run game. We had some pretty good runs, and protection held up pretty well. Washington's a great defense, and, I think we had a great plan coming in against them. And I just, stayed focused the whole time this week and, watching film and breaking down stuff. And so, I was just trusting Coach Thomas's game plan and executing it.
Trenton, did Coach Guano or Coach Thomas give you a message at all? before you hit the field?
You know, Coach Aguano said he just believes me and take what they give me, and Coach Thomas pretty much the same thing. You know, this is what I'm supposed to do as a backup quarterback, is be prepared. And you know, I just, you know, like I said, thank my teammates, thank my coaches, and you know, I'm glad we came out with the W.
Nicholas Hodell with Inferno Intel. When was the first moment you realized that there was a field storm happening, and what was sort of the emotions of that when you realized that there was a field storm happening?
You know, first thing I saw that he was a lefty, so he rolled left, and I was like, please just knock it down, don't get a PI. I saw we knocked it down, and the first person that came up to me was my brother. You know, it's pretty special to play, you know, your whole life with them, and especially at this stage. You know, he was the first one that came up to me, and, you know, we bowed our heads and prayed and, you know, gave thanks to God. But, you know, it was just a super fun moment, and I hope we have a lot more in the future.
Elijah, two-part. How are you feeling right now, and what was it like kind of seeing Trenton have the game that he did?
I feel great right now. It's a great team win, and we just brought it home, brought it to the ASU community. We needed it.
And about just what was it like seeing Trenton have the game that he had?
Well, Trent, he came in comfortable. I was comfortable with him coming in. We stayed calm. We stayed with the course, and we just got it done.
Just the last question for Trenton. Obviously, you're taking a lot of easy hits under routes, but you did hit on some big plays. What was sort of the confidence behind those throws, like being able to rip those off?
You know, our wide receiver room is really special. You know, I got this guy. We have BT, Andre, Gio. I mean, there's a number of guys that can make plays, and it's just a matter of, you know, giving them a shot and giving them opportunity and trusting in them. You know, I have full trust in them and in our running backs too. You know, in our tight ends, we have a lot of weapons offensively, and just taking what the defense gives me and just giving the ball, distributing it to them, and you can see what they can do with the ball in their hands.
For both of you, I don't know if Nesta was telling us the truth, but he said tonight he's going to be at the crib studying film. Can you guys build on that? What's the plan tonight?
You're lying.
I mean, you know, Nesta had a great game, and I think, you know, we're all going to have some fun. You know, I was actually planning to go to the fair, but I think I'm going to, you know, wait till next week on the bye and stuff. But, you know, it was very fun, and, you know, we're going to take this bye week, you know, not take it for granted, but be ready for the next opponent.